and apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning, diarrhea!
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
You made it. Congratulations to you, wherever you are. It's a Friday. Phil Collins Friday. Father's Day weekend Friday. Shout out all the dads and father figures out there. It's your weekend. I say weekend, not just Sunday. No. You got to milk that. You got to take the weekend. It's always Mother's Day weekend. This is Father's Day weekend. So all the dads out there, all the father figures, shout out to you. This show is for you as a father of two. It's a grind, man. It's tough being a dad. It is. But it's also the best. Greatest gift in the world. Got 2 little ones, boy, girl. Hopefully that's it. Not going to lock that in, though. But man, 888-957-9570. It's a Friday. What are you doing this weekend? Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Pregame Show. I am your host, Joe Spadoni. For the next hour, we're going to be breaking down Giants. We got Warriors. We got trade possibilities. We got Rob Manfred talking about the A's moving to Vegas, and it looks like that's all but certain now at this point as Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo signs the bill allowing public funding for partial public funding, I should say, for the stadium in Las Vegas. Now it all needs is owner approval by the MLB, and that is expected to be unanimous whenever that signing goes into effect. But Rob Manfred was talking to the media yesterday and was talking about the A's, so we'll have some sound for that. My question for all of you today, though, at 888-957-9570 and also on the Twitch and YouTube chat, we are up and streaming there. Good morning to all of you who are streaming via Twitch and YouTube, and you're going to want to keep streaming today on Twitch and YouTube. And good morning to EJ and Stunner Fillmore. Appreciate you guys chiming in at this hour of the day. But we've been having a contest going on the last 2 days, and it concludes today. So we are giving you and a guest a chance to go to Chase Center, attend the Warriors introductory press conference with the player they draft. Okay? With me so far? You, guest, player presser, if they draft someone. We will be showing you a keyword on YouTube and Twitch at certain points of the show, and you will qualify by texting those words to our short code. So if you're on YouTube right now, and you see me holding up this piece of paper right here, nothing on there, it's blank, but when Bonte does it, when Steiny does it, and when Mark Willard does it, they'll have a word on there and the code that you text that word to. So it's as simple as that. Got to subscribe. Got to get part of the action. Twitch, YouTube, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Giving a chance for you and a guest to go to the Warriors introductory player presser for whoever they draft. Speaking of the Warriors, a lot of talk after they got ousted by the Los Angeles Lakers. Does this team need a shakeup? Do you need to trade some of these young guys to maximize the Stephen Curry, the Klay Thompson, the Draymond Green window? Or, to hell with Klay and Dre, it's all about Steph. Everyone other than Steph is up for grabs. Yeah, I'm even tossing Wiggins in there. So what are they going to do? Who is going to make that move? Who's pulling the strings? Bob Myers stepped down. They still technically have a vacant GM position. Assistant GM Mike Dunleavy, reportedly by our own Matt Steinmetz a few weeks ago, said he's probably the lock to get that job. It's just all about financials at this point, negotiations. So will it be a collective of Dunleavy, Kirk Lacob, Joe Lacob? Hell, we heard from Joe at that Bob Myers presser saying, I am involved. Now I hire the right people below me to make all the decisions, but ultimately I have to okay them as well. And most of the time I am okay with it. And there's a few times where I have to step in. Is that going to be a time where he steps in this summer? Could they move on from Draymond Green? Could they move on from Klay Thompson? Should they? 888-957-9570. It could be a summer of big moves. And my question this morning is, which team is more likely to make a big move this summer? Is it the Golden State Warriors or the San Francisco Giants? And you could say, Joe, I think it's more likely that it's the Warriors, right? We've been hearing all this drama, all this offseason talk. Is it Poole? Is it Kuminga? Hell, the latest report, Jonathan Givney, ESPN sources saying that the Warriors could potentially trade Kuminga and move up in the draft. Sorry, a player like Kuminga. So we've been seeing that. Jordan Poole, can him and Draymond coexist on this team together? Does one of them have to move on? We've been hearing discussion about that. Klay Thompson, 1 year left on his deal. He wants a Supermax. Him and his party floated out that contract to Woj during that Kings series. He wants to get paid. Can the Warriors do that? Will they do that? Should they do that? He looked awful in that Lakers series. Andrew Wiggins was gone for 2 months. Can you trust him moving forward? I know. Medical with his father. That was what was reported. So there's a lot on the table for the Golden State Warriors. Or do they do nothing? That's also on the table. Do they say, you know what, let's run it back. There's a lot of drama this past season. I think we can move on with it. We still have the young guys in place going forward. We need Poole. We need Kuminga. We need Moody. We need those guys to be cornerstones of the future of this franchise. So maybe they do some tweaks here and there. Maybe DiVincenzo leaves. You get someone to replace him. Kevon Looney's staying. So you don't do much to retool this roster. Still got Gary Payton II. Juxtapose that with the Giants. It's all young guys right now. The youth movement's in full effect. You got Doval, ballin'. He's going to be an all-star. You got Estrada, ballin'. Looks like he may be an all-star as well. Lamont Wade, killing it. Yaz coming around with clutch hits now. Logan Webb, locked up. Cobb doing his thing. The Rogers brothers, all of a sudden that bullpen's a strength. Where we thought it was the weakness and we thought the starting pitching was the strength. Flip that around. I mean, DeSclafani, he struggled. And then you got Alex Wood, Ross Stripling, Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea's been okay as a long man. But you get the picture here, right? The bats are hot. They're coming around. Schmidt, Bailey, Estrada, Wade, all these guys, they're coming around. It feels like now, as the Giants are locked into a wild card spot currently, they're the third wild card spot as they take on the number one wild card team right now in the Los Angeles Dodgers starting tonight in LA. That's going to be exciting. Can't wait for that matchup. Dodgers-Giants doesn't get any better than that. June, it's officially baseball month. It's baseball season. Hockey's over. Basketball's over. Mini camps winding down around the NFL. It's baseball season. And for the Giants and for Farhan Zaidi, and Farhan said it on Sirius XM MLB Radio this past week, they expect to be aggressive. They expect to make the playoffs this year. Those are the expectations. So I say to that, they better be going all in on a starting pitching. They better. They need someone, and I'm not saying it has to be a Shane Bieber, a Lucas Giolito, someone like that. Although a Shane Bieber would be nice. He has another year of control. And I know Farhan is all about that control, that Moneyball-esque tactic, if you will. Learn from Billy Bean. Speaking of which, I haven't heard from Billy Bean on any of this A's stuff. Kind of weird. I guess he is a minority owner, so. But you'd think the face of that franchise for the last, 20 plus years now would have something to say about this, but a little disappointing as I digress here. Talking Giants, Warriors. Which one of these teams needs to make a big splash? Is it the Warriors? Is it the Giants? 888-957-9570. Good morning to everyone on Twitch and YouTube. We are up and streaming. El Guero, Michelle, my family, mi familia. Buenos dias. Appreciate all y'all chiming in on this Father's Day week and all the dads out there. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, all the dads, father figures, all the moms out there. And the dad wasn't around. Shout out to you as well. Uncles that were a father figure. 888-957-9570. What are you guys doing this weekend on a Phil Collins Friday? That's right, for all those who observe, it is a Phil Collins Friday. But we're talking Giants, we're talking Warriors. Which one of these teams needs to make a big move? Well, Jay Williams, ESPN Radio, he thinks the Warriors should make a huge move regarding a guy, Bradley Beal. Keep hearing that name.
You got a landing spot for Bradley Beal that no one else is talking about right now.
I got the best landing spot. The Golden State Warriors. It makes all the sense in the world. You got Draymond Green, who's a pivotal piece to them making one last run for the team of a championship with the core together, okay? I think he opts into the contract. Now, what you do with Clay coming off this year is a big-time question. But if you're Golden State and you're trying to extend the runway for Steph's legacy in this continuity system, why do you not think about letting Jordan Poole go? You're already talking about letting Kuminga go, potentially Moses Moody. Now, I don't want to give up that much. I've heard people throw in potentially Klay Thompson as well with maybe a Kuminga and a Jordan Poole. If you're not sure that that Klay, you want to pay him the supermax moving forward after the last year of his deal, is there a way to make a move for a Bradley Beal with Steph, with Andrew Wiggins, potentially with a guy like Dre? And
Wiggins picks up the slack defensively because you are losing something defensively in the backcourt.
Yes, you are.
So basically trade all the young guys for Bradley Beal. 888-957-9570. Does that sound appealing to you? You're basically sacrificing everything for a guy that has played, 90 games the last couple of years? He's not very healthy. I get it. The age is there. He's, 29? He's going on 30 now. So the age factor is not that concerning, but the games played is. And how does he fit on this team? See, for all the naysayers about the young guys, they just don't fit. I just think Kerr was afraid to play him and let him fail. And what do we hear from Brett Boone yesterday, who joined Bonte and Chasky on the Morning Roast? 3-time All-Star, multiple-time Gold Glover. Got to let the guys fail. It's trial and error in sports. And they're not going to get better without failure. Nikola Jokic, he talked about it yesterday. You have got to fail in this league.
I think you need, if you want to be successful, you need a couple of years. You need to be a bad, then you need to be the good, and then you need to when you're good, you need to fail, and then when you fail, you're gonna figure it out. I think the experience is something that is not what happened to you, is what you're gonna do with that. What happened to you, and. Yes, Jamal was injured. Yes, we lose the first round or second round in the playoff. I don't even remember who remembers, but. There is a process that you need to. There is a steps that you need to fill, and there is no shortcuts. It's a journey.
It's a journey. There are no shortcuts, and that's the reigning Finals MVP now. Should have been 3-time regular season MVP, but is what it is. Just one of the greatest runs we've ever seen in the history of the NBA, as far as individual just stat lines. He's the first player ever, Nikola Jokic, to lead in points, assists, and rebounds from anyone in a playoff run. He led everyone in all three of those stats. It's unbelievable. Nikola Jokic getting after it yesterday, by the way. Guy was having a great time. Michael Malone, by the way, we'll hear from him in a second, head coach of the Denver Nuggets. He was getting after it. Oh, my God. They were talking their talk, and good for them. You know what? They win their first NBA championship. They heard all the naysayers. Hell, I was one of them. I said they can't do it. You know why? Because I have to see it. And maybe that's childish. Maybe that's foolish. Hey, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, don't get fooled again. But, yeah, I doubted them. And now they're shoving it in my face. That's fine. All the naysayers. Good. Michael Malone had his teams back the whole way. They love their coach. He loves his players. And that's fun to see, and they were rewarded for it. Appreciate you. From the YouTube text line, or the YouTube chat, we call it, not the Comcast business text line, which you can hit me up at 888-957-9570 if you can't currently stream. But my family on the chat, didn't the old core advocate for Bradley a couple years ago? I think you're thinking of Avery Bradley. Steph wanted Avery Bradley instead of Gary Payton II. They ended up sticking with GP2, and that was the right move because he was a key piece in the Warriors championship run just a season removed now. But Bradley Beal's been a name that's been linked with the Warriors for a long time now. Long time. Oh, Bradley Beal, can they go after this guy? Can they go after him? But the finances make sense if they were to move off of Clay. Their contracts would match as it pertains to Beal and Thompson. Now, why would the Wizards be interested in that? Well, you would think, add on a Moody, the 19th pick, maybe a Poole or a Kuminga, and at that point, that feels a little rich for my blood. But just playing the game here, that would mean you got Steph, Draymond, Wiggins, Beal, Kevon Looney, and you're starting five. It's pretty formidable. And then you feel like you've still got Poole, Kuminga, some sort of one of those two, Moody, what have you. Lose some depth, but you gain another star. But how would Warriors fans feel about that? Losing Klay Thompson? That was a big conversation on the station yesterday. Losing a guy like Klay Thompson. Man, what he has meant to this franchise. He's a lot of people's favorite player. And I know Steph is the dude, but Klay has this attitude, has this mindset that relates to a lot of the fans. This laid back, chill attitude. Nothing seems to rattle him. Nothing seems to faze him. Although we've seen him be more and more vulnerable these last few years because of those injuries, because of his desire to get back on the court. When he finally got back on that court and helped them in that championship run, it felt like everything after that would be gravy. And unfortunately, the taste that he left in a lot of Warriors fans' mouths this past postseason was not good. And I think a lot of Warriors fans have that in the back of their mind still. It's fresh in their memories, how bad he looked in that Lakers series. And they're thinking, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. Are you ready to move on from any of these core three? 888-957-9570. Pandy Zandy. Spadoni looks like Giovanni Ribisi, the actor. It's on the YouTube chat. Is that the dude who played the medic in Saving Private Ryan? But he was also the creepy guy in Ted. I think that's who that is, Giovanni Ribisi. It's a Paisan. I respect it. Love all the Paisans out there. Di Sclafani, he's still my guy, even though he got a rough start. It's all good. Italy ended up losing to Spain yesterday. I think they did in the UEFA Nations League. 2-1. Spaniards beat them. It's unfortunate, but you know who didn't lose yesterday? Give it to me yonder.
USA!
Right, baby. USA taking out Mexico in the CONCACAF Nations League semifinals there. USA winning 3-0. Pulisic with the brace. That's what we do. One more time, yonder.
USA!
Damn right. Although, bittersweet night as we touch a little soccer here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni at 888-957-9570. Greg Berhalter coming back for the U.S. men's national team to manage. What are we doing? All that? We hired like a firm or whatever to see who we're going to make our next manager, and you just go back to the guy we just had, who's on a sabbatical apparently. Ugh. No vote of confidence for this squad with that guy leading the ship. The Gio Reyna situation alone, I think, should have had Berhalter fired. The handling of that, the drama with Reyna's parents, making it personal when it didn't need to be personal with the playing time. It was just, ugh. And we rehired that guy when Reyna is supposed to be a huge part of the future of U.S. men's national team. It's just, ugh. As I digress here, 888-957-9570. Just need to squeeze that little factoid in. We still got some more to get to as it pertains to Rob Manfred, his comments pertaining to the A's and Governor Joe Lombardo of Nevada signing the bill through, and it all goes to the owner's vote now, which is expected to be unanimous. Manfred made some comments regarding the A's reverse boycott. We'll get all into that here as the show goes on. The question as of now, though, who's going to make the bigger move and who needs to make the bigger move this summer? Warriors? Giants. 888-957-9570 is the number there. Here's JJ Redick on ESPN talking about why the Warriors can't contend with Draymond Green. And Draymond obviously is in a lot of people's minds already off the team. I think this fan base is split. This fan base is split when it comes to Draymond Green and his future with the team. A lot of people look at that Lakers series and feel like he didn't go hard enough at Anthony Davis and at LeBron because he's homies with those guys. The punch at the start of the year was a dark cloud. He talked about it. Kerr talked about it. They seem to be buddy talking about it on his postgame show on the Draymond Green podcast via the Volume Network. But a lot of people are tired of his act. But JJ Redick, he feels like the Warriors can't contend without him. Take a listen.
What we saw last year was a non-elite defense from the Golden State Warriors. They get beat at the point of attack too much. They foul too much. They hovered around 15th all season long in defensive rating. And yet, Draymond Green had another elite defensive season. Like, he is the anchor of that defense. When the Golden State Warriors have contended, it's because they've had a great defense. You lose him with really no way to replace him, you're not winning an NBA championship. I don't have the Golden State Warriors as the number one contender going into next season like Mad Dog did yesterday with his A-list. But they're still in a tier of teams in the Western Conference who, depending on what they do this summer with the draft and free agency, around the edges, I believe those teams can compete. And the Golden State Warriors are one of those teams. But they're not winning without Draymond, and there's no way to replace Draymond if he does leave.
We buying that? 888-957-9570. JJ Redick, that was via ESPN. I believe that was First Take. We buying that? The Warriors are no longer a championship contender if Draymond Green moves on. Now, on one hand, the defense, listen, he's an all-timer, maybe the greatest defensive player in the history of basketball. Steve Kerr said that. Maybe. He's up there. Absolutely. He's a future Hall of Famer. We get all that. But when push came to shove for the Warriors in that Lakers series, what was the problem? Scoring. You needed buckets. You look at that game 4 where Lonnie Walker, the fourth, damn near outscored the whole team by himself in the fourth quarter. And that was basically the series because the Lakers would go up 3-1 and finish it in 6. And Draymond, God bless him, whatever happened the last few years didn't work on his game, his offensive shooting game. And he is not a scorer. And you could not play Kevon Looney and Draymond Green together during that series. You could not have two non-scorers on the floor. So when I hear about these Bradley Beal type of rumors, it makes sense in that regard. Because you need another scorer. Another threat to score at least. Because that's it. Not even a threat to score is a problem. The Lakers are just sagging off the entire series whenever it was Looney or Draymond or both of them on the floor. And it was too late when the Warriors realized that they couldn't do that combination. Anthony Davis was having his way with Draymond, with Kevon, the entire series. So yes, it's true that defensively, this team can't afford to lose Draymond, but offensively, they kind of can't. So it's what you value more for this team. And what do Mike Dunleavy, Kirk Lacob, and Joe Lacob feel about Draymond moving forward? Because say what you will on the court, off the court, I think his act is getting a little tired. Now, you might not hear it when it comes to the players, when it comes to the head coach, but behind the scenes, I would not be surprised that they're having a long and hard conversation when it comes to Draymond Green and his future with this squad. So 888-957-9570, could you see the Warriors moving on from Draymond Green or Klay Thompson? What is that big splash that could happen? Should it happen? That's the question today. Who needs to make a bigger splash this summer? Giants, Warriors. Who's more likely? 888-957-9570. We'll get into more of the Giants side on the other side. Some of those trade candidates out there for a team that's red hot. And the San Francisco Giants as they take on the Los Angeles Dodgers and take their, 7-game road winning streak now into Los Angeles and try to get it done tonight there. 888-957-9570 is the number. And also be sure to be streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. We are giving you and a guest a chance to go to Chase Center and attend the Warriors introductory press conference with the player they draft. We'll be showing you a keyword on YouTube and Twitch at certain points of the morning roast. Steiny Goo, Willard Dibbs, and you will qualify by texting those words to our short code. Get to YouTube and Twitch now and watch for the keyword for your chance to win. It's the pregame show with Joe Spadoni. Come on back. More Giants, more Warriors, more A's talk on the other side.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
Oh, yes. It's a Phil Collins Friday here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, Easy Lover. Let's go. It's a feel-good Friday. It's Father's Day weekend. Shout out to all the dads out there. Shout out to all the father figures. Appreciate all that you do. Shout out to everyone on the Twitch and YouTube chats. We are up and streaming there. Search 95.7 The Game, like, and subscribe. Be sure to hit me up also at 888-957-9570. That's the call and the Comcast Business Text Line number. And be sure to download that Odyssey app and favorite 95.7 The Game. The discussion we're having right now, who needs to make the bigger move this summer? Is it the Warriors? Is it the Giants? Which one of those two squads need to? Michelle DeMatteo on the YouTube chat, definitely the Warriors. We got Nicole saying the punch will stop being an issue when we stop talking about it. Nicole Diaz, I understand, but you know what? We're never going to stop talking about it because it was such a massive, massive part of this past season, and it has effects that are still going to linger on to. It's going to linger on until either Poole or Draymond move on from this team. That's just the facts right there. Unless they hang out on a podcast together, which I don't foresee happening, I don't see us ever not talking about it. Good morning to Pandy Zandy, my family, Min Mai, Dublin Marge. Appreciate you. Min Mai, stop with the curse slander. Dude has 9 chips. Who's talking curse slander? Oh, the YouTube chat I see. Whew. Steve Kerr, I'll say this about him. Microscope's going to be a lot on him now that Bob Myers is gone. Bob Myers was the guy that could reel in Draymond Green. I'm not sure Steve Kerr can. And it's going to be very interesting if Draymond Green indeed re-signs with the Warriors, which I think a lot of people expect to happen. Who's going to run that locker room? Is it the head coach? Or is it going to be the star players? 888-957-9570. We got some calls we got to get to. When we get calls here on the pregame show at 5:35 a.m., we go to them. Filmo Mike, what's up, my man? How we doing? Filmo. Oh, wait. Hold on. Real quick, Filmo. Sam Lubin's not in the control room. I need to hit him up. Tell him to potty you up. Hold on. Put you back on hold. Get to you in a second. Hey, Sam, can you pot it up? We got someone that wants to talk. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Filmo, there you are.
Yo.
What's up, man?
Hello? What's up, blood? Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Filmo.
I ain't got kids. I ain't got kids yet, but they be calling me daddy. But anyway, the Warriors definitely need to make the bigger move because people not even tripping on the Giants, and they're not really on their radar. The Warriors had high expectations. I wanted the Lakers series because I wanted to beat the Lakers, and we were kind of like a no-show. Draymond, JJ Redick is totally right. You're totally right as well. Draymond, he got to work on that jumper, bruh. Like, you got to work on your flow game. Yeah, you could pass to Steph and Clay because they're better shooters. You're supposed to be a basketball savant, but when you watch the game, you can see, bro, if you can hit your 15 to 17 footer just more on a consistent basis, be confident in your shot, that would improve the team right there. No trades needed. Work on your jumpers, Draymond. Poole, work on your handles. I don't know what happened this past year. The refs got in your head early on with the carrying. I don't know what was going on, but he got to work on his handle. I could see that they won it last year. They don't need to make a big move, but they definitely need to make more moves than the Giants. And if Steph get better every year, why not Draymond and Looney? Y'all got Looney's getting better. Draymond, don't plateau out, bruh. Work on different elements of your game. I see you worked on your handle. Your handle is better. Start working on your jumper, bruh. Real talk. You got the defense, solid D, not the greatest ever, but you up there. But come on, bro, like work on that jumper. Your jumper. If you work on your jumper, we're a better team.
Filmo.
Straight up.
No, straight up. No, you're absolutely right. The question is, though, do you think he's going to? I mean, he's had all these years to work on this game, and it just feels like it's not a priority anymore. And he's getting up there in age. I don't see him reverting back to being the scorer that he was early on in his career. Do you agree with that?
I agree. I totally agree. But my point is, you don't got to become like a scorer. You just got to become a reliable shot maker.
Yeah.
Like, if you can shoot 45% from the 15 feet, bruh.
Yeah.
What is his free throw percentage? 70%?
Yeah.
That's a free throw. If you start hitting them, you feel me? But I agree. It's too much stuff going on. Like, he got his podcast, bruh. Get off the podcast, bruh. Work on your jumper. I need 1,000 jumpers before you even say one word to that mic. Straight up.
That's it. That's Filmo Mike right there. Thank you, Filmo. Appreciate you chiming in. Happy Father's Day. Even if you don't have kids, people be calling him daddy.
How many times did he say jumper there in that rant? There was like 15 jumpers.
You know what? He needs to work on it. I don't think he's going to, though. Like, that's the thing. Like, the jump shot, and by the way, ugliest jumper in the history of the game. Probably Draymond Green, top 10. But you know what? It used to
got the backpack on.
It used to go in. That's the thing. Like, he was a good three-point shooter at one point in his career, and then it feels like the need for defense was so escalated with him on that team being that defensive anchor and being that offensive playmaker, sure, but that threat to score just every year since when? 2016, 2017, just slowly dipped.
Well, remember, he doesn't have to be a scorer. He has Steph and Clay around him, so he doesn't have to score as much.
Yeah, when they're not scoring like Klay Thompson didn't do in the Lakers series, what happens? Then you have three non-scorers and him, Looney, and it's a big mess, Sammy. But you know what? Jason in Oakland, he has an idea. Jason in Oakland, you're on 95.7 The Game. What's up, bro?
Hey, good morning. Like I was saying, I actually don't agree with the trade talks of Klay Thompson or like Draymond Green. I mean, people have to realize that Klay Thompson is coming back from like a horrible injury, and just because he does like rehab off season, you can't expect him just to bounce back from the injury like that. As far as trades, like I say, possibly Jordan Poole if his attitude doesn't change. I think he's a good player. I do think the situation with him and Draymond Green kind of affected his game this season. If they can actually just get everybody to buy back into the system like the year before. Everybody was on the same bus the year before. They bought into the system. They played together. They played like a brotherhood. If the Warriors get back into that system, they are one of the hardest teams to beat, period. So, but I definitely don't want to hear any more talks about trading Klay Thompson or Draymond Green, just because, like I say, for 10 years, they have been a solid nucleus, and it's very hard to rip a nucleus apart and be successful.
I understand. Thanks for the call, Jason. That's Jason in Oakland, 888-957-9570. If you would like to chime in on this conversation, who needs to make a bigger move this summer? Is it the Warriors? Is it the San Francisco Giants? We'll be breaking that all down. Coming up here, we got the crossover. No Joe Shasky, but it'll be Alan Styles Files joining me next. Haven't even asked him. Usually I'm nice enough to be like, hey, you want to hop on for a few minutes? But I'm sure he's cool enough. Maybe we'll get a little Raider question in there too. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley. Not looking good for the running back market going forward here in the NFL. Maybe we'll touch on that. Again, we'll touch on this Giants-Warriors topic. And I teased it. I'm going to keep teasing it. We will play the Rob Manfred sound as it pertains to the Oakland Athletics and their impending move to Las Vegas. That's all coming up next on a Phil Collins Friday right here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Since first opening its doors in 1964, Fremont Bank has approached banking with a simple idea in mind. Growth comes one customer at a time. You see, while some institutions might be on the lookout for the next big thing, we like to think that's what you'll be. And when you achieve great things, it leads to success throughout the community. It also allows us to continue our tradition of giving back to the region. It's a strategy that's proven successful for nearly 60 years, and we expect to continue success for years to come. Fremont Bank, putting the community in community banking.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs.
been waiting. I'm waiting for a Friday. Phil Collins Friday. Feel Good Friday. A Father's Day Friday here on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. Got one more segment before tossing it over to the morning roast. Bonte Hill and Alan Stiles in for Joe Shasky. Stiles will join me here in a few, but we've been talking which one of these teams here in the Bay need to make a bigger move this summer. Is it the Giants? Is it the Warriors? We'll continue to take your calls and texts on that. 888-957-9570. Heavy in favor of the Warriors making a move in the chat, in the YouTube chat. We are streaming on Twitch and YouTube here on 95.7 The Game, and also be sure to download that Odyssey app. But the biggest move will probably be the move that the Oakland A's make to Las Vegas, and Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo signing in the bill yesterday of the public funding for the team moving to Vegas, helping John Fisher out there. And now that all that needs to happen is the MLB owners signing off on it. That's expected to be unanimous. And the A's will no longer be the Oakland A's, and they will be the Las Vegas A's. And Rob Manfred was taking questions with the media yesterday at the MLB owners meetings. And here he is talking about feeling sorry for A's fans. Really, Bobby Manfred?
I feel sorry for the fans in Oakland. I do not like this outcome. I understand why they feel the way they do. I think that the real question is, what is it that Oakland was prepared to do? There is no Oakland offer. Okay? I mean, they never got to the point where they had a plan to build a stadium at any site. And it's not just John Fisher. You don't build a stadium based on the club activity alone. The community has to provide support. And, at some point you come to the realization it's just not going to happen.
And here's Rob Manfred, commissioner of MLB, talking about the A's reverse boycott night.
Did you watch the A's game on Tuesday when the fans came out for the reverse boycott?
I was actually at a dinner with the owners.
Did you read the coverage?
I did. I saw the
impression of that.
It was great. It's great to see what is this year, almost an average Major League Baseball crowd in the facility for one night. That's a great thing.
Just incredibly smug and insensitive and whatever other word you want to use to describe that slimy guy named Rob Manfred. As Alan Stiles joins me now for the crossover. And Alan, I just want to hear your overall thoughts on the A's reverse boycott and now seemingly the team moving to Las Vegas. It's all but done now. Just your thoughts. I know you're a Giants fan, but you grow up in the Bay and stuff like that. You're East Bay kind of a guy. So your thoughts on the A's and this whole situation, and just hearing Rob Manfred there with zero contempt for the team.
Well, first of all, I'm calling Big Cap. And when I walked in here this morning, in terms of the 27,000 and it's good to see the A's get to nearly what teams are getting to a night. That's a lie. Okay, just like on Maury, the lie detector told me that was a lie because
you are the father. Shout out Father's Day real quick, Maury.
Shout out Father's Day because I don't even understand where he got this number. And then we looked it up, and it looks like about a little over half of the teams are getting to that 25K mark. I think there's some Ozark cooking the books. Something's going on.
Those are tickets sold. Those are tickets sold.
And that's what it's always been with baseball. It doesn't matter how it looks. Doesn't matter when you turn on SportsCenter. There's nobody in the seats because our numbers are telling us that it's okay. Well, the TV and my eyes are telling me that nobody cares. But in terms of everything that's going on in Oakland, I thought the reverse boycott was awesome. Saw some weird takes just about, so now you're just not going to show up. And some people still don't get it.
Yeah.
You're in a lose-lose situation if you're an A's fan. You're darned if you do, darned if you don't. If you don't go, you have people that are too lazy to look up what's really going on, say, well, you're bad fans. You're not supporting your team. If you do go, you're supporting somebody that is being very open about the fact that he does not care about you as a fan base, and they're trying to leave. So the only take that anybody should have had, and I saw it from other media members and things like that.
Breaking news. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this just in from Adrian Wojnarowski. ESPN sources Golden State Warriors executive Mike Dunleavy Jr. has agreed to a deal to become the franchise's new general manager. Dunleavy Jr., who had a 15-year NBA playing career, is elevating into the front office to replace Bob Myers, who stepped down after 4 titles. So we knew this was coming, but the Warriors have made it official. Mike Dunleavy is the guy for the Warriors.
Oh, there you go. Steiny had it first, though. He said it 2 weeks ago. I'm not giving Woj that credit. Our own Matt Steinmetz here reporting at 95.7 The Game that this would have been done.
We all knew this was coming down the pipe.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Mike Dunleavy Jr. now, Allen, becoming the dude. And listen, this is not an enviable position, I would say. There's a lot of different egos in this building.
Right.
There is a lot of drama going on in this building. There is a youth movement aspect, but also a veteran aspect that you are trying to fit through this next 3 or 4 years now. It's not an easy job. I don't know if this is an enviable position for a lot of other people.
Well, it is because you have Steph Curry and you have Klay Thompson and Draymond. But that's kind of all you got.
Yes.
You kind of got to, you're really a bit handcuffed in the moves that you can make. And really the question is, how are they going to evaluate this past season with what Jordan? It's really about Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson to me and Draymond Green. But Draymond Green, if he opts in, then what are we talking about? There's nothing to talk about. Yeah. So we know the moves that are the most obvious. Are you gonna? We're hearing they're doing a great job. I know they're naming between Kirk Lakeup and Mike Dunleavy. They're naming them Dunkirk. I don't know if you've seen that.
That's a good one. Shout out Killian Murphy, Tyler Glasnow.
Exactly. So and I'm glad everybody else is on that because I was on it a long time ago. But you know I tweeted. I'm talking to myself. I get a like from my mom and my wife. Thanks. It's awesome.
It happens.
And now a couple years later, everybody's on it. So. You got Dunleavy, you got Dunkirk, you got Kirk Lakeup. They're trading up. They're trading down. They're trading all around. We don't know what they're going to do, but we do know this. We have people saying that the Nuggets are not going anywhere, and they're not going anywhere. I don't know what necessarily they're going to be, but they're not going anywhere.
Oh, they're not. Michael Malone talked about it yesterday at the parade.
What a great day to celebrate a championship, but we're not done yet. We're some greedy baby. We're some greedy We're getting another one. And I'm out.
There you go. He's out.
And I'm out.
They're getting another one, Alan.
Out. That was pretty. That was fairly early in the parade.
He was such a mood yesterday. That whole team, Jokic, just being like, you know what? I actually kind of like this.
Yeah, I do like this. So, and it's the Nuggets. It's obviously all the other teams that are going to continue to improve. The Warriors can't stand pat. And I'll go back to 2022. We understand that the Warriors got it done. But do we also understand that you had a career year from Jordan Poole and a career year from Andrew Wiggins? Do you think they're going to be able to duplicate that? I don't know. I don't know. So standing pat means you're assuming that both those guys, and Wiggins to a lesser degree because he had family stuff going on. He was dealing with injuries. Do you think they're going to be able to replicate that in 2024? I don't know. I know Klay, a lot of people got on Klay for the playoffs. He actually had a really good season. But even still, you still, to me, have way too many one-way guys. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful here on this beautiful Friday morning, but Klay is closer to a one-way guy than he is to a two-way guy. That's just the truth. Yeah. Jordan Poole, we know, is a one-way guy. Kevon Looney, kind of a one-way guy. Draymond Green, kind of a one-way guy. So you have a whole team with specific uses going up against teams where the Nuggets, Aaron Gordon was their Draymond. This man was doing stuff offensively that Draymond can't do.
No.
And he was their guy that, oh my gosh, how's Aaron Gordon going to get going? He's hitting threes. He was boogieing on some people. He was doing the back cuts. Now they play different positions, but my point is, if Aaron Gordon is the Nuggets' non-offensive player, that's a problem for not just the Warriors, for the rest of the league. So very interested to see what Mike Dunleavy does now that he has this position.
Absolutely. And you would think the number one kind of, I don't know what situation or something he has to attack here as it pertains to this team and his first job, if you will, it's that Draymond Green and Jordan Poole relationship, man. Like, I don't for everything we know about Mike Dunleavy Jr., and listen, he's kind of a quieter guy. He's very serious. You know, we think of him as a bust, right? When it comes to the Warriors, he was a high draft pick. Everyone just hated him when he was here at Oracle Arena. They didn't like him as a player. Now he's a GM for the team. replacing a guy like Bob Myers. And
Right.
Bob Myers was so freaking loved. And his greatest attribute was talking to players, being able to relate to the players. It wasn't the head coach. This is a very rare thing. Usually, it's the head coach that does a lot. Usually, it's the Popovich. Usually, it's the Phil Jackson, the Zen master, right? We think about that. And Steve Kerr's great. But when it came to the relationships aspect, who was it going down on the floor calming Draymond Green down?
Well,
it was Bob Myers.
It was Bob Myers.
It was Bob Myers, right? Like, so I'm looking at Mike Dunleavy. He's not that guy.
No,
he's not that guy. So how is he going to be able to manage these egos with this team? Is it getting rid of one of these guys? Is it Jordan Poole? See you later. We got to move. We got to move forward. We can't have any drama. Is it Draymond Green? You know what? We talked with Joe Lacob. We talked with Kirk. I think it's best if we just move on here. What is that next move? What is that move that says, you know what? I'm here now. Bob's gone. I'm Mike Dunleavy Jr., ladies and gentlemen. Is there one? This is my show.
Or it comes off as you trying to do too much.
Yeah,
so he's in a tough spot.
He's a very tough spot.
But I will say this. You talk about Bob Myers being the guy to come down and handle Draymond. Bob Myers had that energy, that aura, right?
Yes.
He commanded a room. That's something that you're just born with. And I don't know that
charisma.
And I don't know that Mike Dunleavy has that.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it to be successful, but it will be very different, very similar, I would say. And I got to be careful here, from Bruce Bochy to Gabe Kapler. Not that we're talking down upon Gabe Kapler. It's just two completely different swags that everybody's going to have to get used to.
Or hell, Brian Saban, for doing the GM compare, Brian Saban to Farhan Zaidi.
There you go.
Totally different,
there
right?
You go.
It's just, it's a totally different mindset. Now, I don't think it's going to be that different because obviously Mike Dunleavy Jr. working under Bob Myers, kind of being his protege, if you will. Yeah. It'll be maybe potentially an easier transition, but still, you just don't replace a guy like Bob Myers at the end of the day. That's that. That's Alan Stiles. He's going to be joining Bonta Hill next. Breaking news here, if you're just joining us, Mike Dunleavy Jr. now promoted to GM officially of the Golden State Warriors. That's per Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN. But really, it was per our own Matt Steinmetz of 95.7 The Game just a few weeks ago. Shout out to all the fathers out there, all the father figures. Hope you all have a lovely, lovely Father's Day. Morning Roast up next. Alan Stiles, Bonta Hill, right here, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game.